Well, we've got another big concert coming up here in San Francisco this week. We've got two pieces. They couldn't be more contrasting. I guess it's typical of me to program things like this. The first half is the Mass in G major, the second Mass by Franz Peter Schubert. And it's a really beloved piece because it is so songful, it is so tender, it is understated and has that kind of achy Italianate quality that sometimes Monteverdi has. It's just haunting. And then after that, we're doing the Concord Symphony, which is Henry Brandt's amazing orchestral transcription of the Ives Concord Sonata. Now, of course, the two Ives piano sonatas I played at all of my life. I've never dared perform one in public. It's really a finger-breaking task to do that. But the message of this music really touches me very, very profoundly. And I'm not the only person who's thought that something like the Concord Sonata is on such an enormous scale that it really suggests the sounds of a mighty orchestra. But what a job you'd have to orchestrate this piece. In the first place, Ives thought of it as a kind of extended improvisation. In fact, he used to read sections from Whitman and Thoreau to visitors and then go to the piano and say, that passage I just read you, it sounds like this. And he was in a kind of frenzy when he wrote it. He wanted it to be, as the work of the transcendentalist composers is, an expression of freedom, and especially Emerson's exhortation to artists, go it alone, go your own way, do your own thing, or Thoreau's, march to the beat of a different drummer. So part of that strategy in Ives' mind was to do the piece almost without any bar lines. You open the score and you just see a page absolutely densely crammed with the most complicated notes and rhythms, but no bar lines. And you have to, as John Kirkpatrick, the great Ives scholar, said, well, you just got to go through it and sort of dope it out. What did Mr. Ives really want? It's a long process, not an overnight one. But what Brandt did was extraordinary because he put bar lines into this piece. He played the piece himself on the piano, and he contrived a way of writing it that it could be understood by a large ensemble. Now, Brandt, of course, is a Pulitzer Prize-winning composer who was so interested in multiple musical ensembles, and an essential part of his writing was that music could sound coming from different distances, something which, of course, fascinated Ives very much. And he put all of his skill as an orchestrator that was honed by years of orchestrating films and Broadway shows and even Radio City Music Hall reviews. All that was put into place in what is really not that large an orchestra, but a very cunningly created one. And the sounds of the piece are so open and clear as compared to Ives' own orchestrations. Of course, Ives never had the luxury of hearing any of his own large orchestral pieces performed live. It was all kind of conjecture. But Brandt unerringly creates the kind of clear, biting sonorities that there are on the piano. Somehow he makes them alive and full of this wiry, plangent or exultant sound that the orchestra is absolutely reeling to all the time. So I'm very, very enthused. Just came back from the first reading with the San Francisco Symphony, and they're already all over it. It sounds absolutely magnificent, and I can't wait for the performance.